Okay, is there a concern for Washington right now? Husky fans are probably concerned with the defense. That's pretty valid. And they lost a couple of corners from last year, but there's still plenty of talent. They've recruited at a solid level for the last few years, even under Jimmy Lake. And the defense wasn't the problem last year, right? I think part of the optimism for Husky fans this season was, well, the defense has been good the last several years, so they'll be good again. Even though we lost a couple of guys, we've been losing NFL corners for years, bringing in new players, replacing them and such, and getting a high level of production. That's very true. But is it as simple for Washington as they are just a different team away from home? I'm going to say the answer is yes right now. Because how else do you answer the question of explaining Washington's differing levels of play against Michigan State versus Arizona State? Is Michigan State as good as we thought? No. Are they a bad team? Also, no. Would Michigan State beat Arizona State? Probably. At the very least, it'd be a competitive game. Can we all agree on that? I watched Washington's defense against Michigan State. They ended up allowing, I don't remember the exact final score, but it was a lot of garbage time points for the Spartans. They could not move the ball in Seattle. And meanwhile, Arizona State in Tempe, with a backup quarterback for most of the game, is able to go up and down the field. Yeah, Penix threw one pick six, unlucky, it went off his lineman's helmet, and they run it back the other way. That's still 38 points that Washington allowed to an Arizona State team that has an interim head coach who's never been a Power Five coordinator, even. He was the running backs coach, and he's just filling in. And you got to feel good for the Sun Devils for having their moment in the sun. Well, they have a lot of moments in the sun because they're in Arizona, of course, but for having a moment to celebrate as a football program right now. But if you're Washington, there should be some level of concern defensively. But I really do think because I watched them play against Stanford at home and I watched them play against Michigan State at home, and I saw the defense play radically different than what they showed in their two games on the road. Now, UCLA is easily the best offense of the bunch, but that Arizona State team is not that good. They played pretty well against USC on the road, sure, but the offense didn't put up that many points. The offense scored, I believe, 25 on the road against USC, and USC's defense has been hit or miss this year. They've been relying on the turnovers. And so I really think I'm considering putting Washington back in the Pac-12 prime picks this week, which definitely go into the lean lose categories. Another 1-2 showing. Second week in a row, my favorite pick, UCLA this week, Washington State a week ago hits, and then the other two miss. The Beavs and the Huskies let me down, but based on the evidence we've seen, it may just be that Washington's defense needs to feed off the home energy. Because how else do you explain that showing against Michigan State at home on the defensive side of the ball? Washington's offense is fine. Went down, scored 38 points on the road. I don't care who you're playing. 38 points on the road in conference play, you're doing something right. Was it perfect? No. But the offense is not the problem. You score 38 points, you should win the football game 9.5 times out of 10. This apparently is the halftime for the Huskies because the defense could not get a stop. Their tackling was poor. There were a couple of busted coverages, or I guess the better way to perhaps put it is guys just getting beat really badly in one-on-one situations. But that wasn't happening against Michigan State. And the Spartans probably have better athletes top to bottom than Arizona State does. At the very least, it's comparable. So they're coming back home this week and have a chance to show that the first 4 weeks of the season were not a fluke because they're playing Arizona. They're a more than 2 touchdown favorite right now. We'll continue to monitor the line as the week goes on. But I think there's cause for pause, but not yet concern for Washington. Yes, that is a bad loss, no doubt. There is no doubt about it. Not going to try and sugarcoat that. That's a bad loss for Washington. They should not lose that game. But they have more home games on their schedule, and you can improve as the season goes on. They're still sitting at 4-2 this year. They're on track to be at least a 7-8 win team for a program that won 4 a season ago. Turnarounds can take time. I thought it would take longer than it clearly has coming into this year, but now it feels like they're going backwards. but maybe they just need a little bit of home cooking. I suspect that that's the case for the Huskies. I appreciate everyone listening. See you next time. And right before I forget, Stanford just keeps finding a way to lose games. Unquestioned loser of the week. They can't beat an FBS team. Nothing's going right in Stanford. They can't win game. It felt like they gave that game away. Oregon State took it. However you want to interpret whatever happened on the farm on Saturday night. Pac-12 After Dark. Appreciate everyone listening. See you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.